Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront updates and some more exciting Star Wars Battlefront 2 news. First of all, there was a couple of things I missed in the trailer or didn't properly mention that I will be bringing up in this video, but they also released an article on the website detailing all 11 Galactic Assault maps available in the game with an explanation of how the actual scenario and objectives will play out on that map. But I will start with the other stuff first. So first of all, this is probably Chewbacca in this trailer, as many of you noted, because it doesn't look the same as the Wookiee warriors, and on top of that the belt he has around his body, I'm sure there's a better word than belt for it, but you know what I mean. It looks exactly like the one Chewie has on, so I would guess it's Chewie, but I still can't say it's confirmed, but I just wanted to bring that up. And then secondly, thanks to Owen in my Discord server, who spotted that these creatures shown in the little Bespin image are actually Beldons, a large species that was native to Bespin, and they lived in the planet's lower atmosphere and could be found in large herds. So I'm assuming that however Bespin is going to be in the campaign, it's not going to be Cloud City, but some other part of Bespin where you can find the Beldons. They did also detail on the website that heroes versus villains will be 4 versus 4, so that is most definitely only with heroes, which I am so glad to hear, because I never felt like infantry had a place in heroes versus villains, and it's gonna be nice to just have some pure hero versus hero battles in the Battlefront 2. But now let's move on to the Galactic Assault descriptions. They also have a new image for pretty much all of these, so I will be showing the images when I go through the descriptions, and I will simply read them straight off the website and then comment if there's something special I want to bring up after each planet. So let's start off with Kamino. The waves of Kamino crash beneath the slender platforms of a cloning facility as armies of battle droids descend on the artificial island. Their aim is simple: destroy the Republic's ability to produce more clones. The attackers make their way through the twisting paths and laboratories, hacking computer systems and taking down defenses as they fight toward the final goal, the fusion core. Clone forces will use all of their wits and skills to stop them. So it does again sound like we will have quite a mix of objectives here, just like on Theed, which is very nice to hear. And then we have Kashyyyk. On Kashyyyk, a separatist army storms ashore in a thundering amphibious landing. Infantry storm up the beach, escorted by flights of vulture droids and immense AT-ATs. Awaiting them are Wookiee warriors and clone troopers dug in behind juggernaut combat vehicles to defend a grounded star cruiser. The invaders make their way from the water's edge along 2 massive MTTs, blasting their way through Republic defenses in an effort to destroy the ship. So this does indeed sound pretty damn cool. The goal is basically to destroy that ship for the separatists and defend it for the clones. And the fact that they have 2 MTTs here, well, just imagine Theed but on an open area and with 2 MTTs instead. That is definitely going to be an epic battle. And then we have Theed, and I'm actually not even going to read that because you guys have heard enough about Theed on my channel and you've seen the gameplay as well. So if we move on to the original trilogy maps, we have the second Death Star. As the Battle of Endor rages all around it, an Alliance CR-90 corvette loses control and crashes straight into an open hangar on the massive Death Star. The surviving rebels must fight their way out and quickly find another ship and escape before the Death Star itself explodes. To get out, the rebels disable the tractor beam, disarm nearby weapon systems, and finally steal a shuttle and make their departure. In the tight corridors and choke points inside Death Star 2, there is little room for vehicular combat. Troopers, special characters, and heroes struggle at close range to overcome their enemies in an old-fashioned boots-on-the-ground battle to the end. So this is real interesting, the fact that they have the second Death Star as a galactic assault map with 40 people, and there will be no vehicles at all. Comparing this to something like Kashyyyk for, well, technically the same game mode, they will probably play out very differently, which is good to see that there's such a variation in the game. And then we have Endor. The tables have turned. Rebel saboteurs work quickly to steal an AT-AT walker and use it to attack a hidden Imperial base on Endor. This night battle begins with an Alliance attack on the walker. Should the rebels manage to overwhelm the defense around the AT-AT, they take control and set it on a march toward the Imperial outpost. Speederbikes streak through the woods and the forest moon as Imperial AT-STs and their infantry try and head off the attack. The fight culminates with a brawl on the threshold of the base itself. So 2 things that I think is really cool. First of all, that you're stealing an AT-AT walker as the rebels. That's something that I've always wanted to do since, well, the original Battlefront games, where you at least could steal AT-STs. And secondly, the fact that this is a night map. I absolutely loved Endor on Supremacy in the previous game, which was kind of like an evening/night map. So to have a dedicated Endor night map is gonna be fantastic. And now we have Mos Eisley. Imperial stormtroopers rush from Lambda-class shuttles into the crowded streets of Mos Eisley. The massive limbs of AT-AT walkers kick up sand as rebel blaster fire explodes all around them. The Imperial objective is simple: destroy the Alliance U-wing housed in a landing bay. To get there, they'll need to fight through the outskirts of the city, secure markets, and finally destroy their target. But the rebels won't surrender without a fight. X-34 land speeders wait in ambush, and Alliance A-wings are waiting to pounce on the Imperial invaders. So it does indeed seem like the rebels finally get a land vehicle other than the normal speeder bikes. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how these land speeders are used. I can't imagine them having too much firepower, but at least we finally get a vehicle for the rebels. Now we have Yavin 4. Deep within the heart of the Great Temple on Yavin 4 is a secret of key importance to the survival of the Rebel Alliance. But Imperial ground forces have arrived. Death Troopers and Stormtroopers must take out defensive turbo lasers to open up their position, fight through the outlying Rebel outposts, storm the gate, and finally breach the inside of the massive complex and secure the data. Wookiee warriors, U-wing gunships, and Rebel soldiers stand in the way of the relentless Imperial advance. So it seems like U-wing gunships are indeed back, and I'm guessing they might function the same way they did in the Scarif DLC, where they kind of hover around the map and you get to be the gunner. And then we have Hoth. The icy wastes of Hoth are home to one of the Galactic Civil War's most momentous battles. Plodding AT-AT walkers advance toward their rebel position under air cover by TIE fighters, TIE bombers, and TIE interceptors, as rebel defenders and their screen of A-wings, Y-wings, X-wings, and T-47s try and take down the AT-ATs and hold the position. Should the Imperials breach their defenses, their target is the first hangar base. Once those are taken, their focus will shift to the internal fuel depot, which they will detonate to obliterate the base. So, pretty tricky to see how similar this will be to the previous game, but I would imagine that they probably have a brand new map, although it might look similar to what we've seen before. And now over to some Force Awakens maps. Starkiller Base. As the fighter attack rages above Starkiller Base, the Resistance makes a daring raid to rescue prisoners trapped inside the Imperial base. Troopers attack the external defenses, taking out guns and TIEs on the ground and trying to free the captives before the planet explodes. The First Order forces are soon airborne, however, counterattacking with TIE First Order starfighters as the Resistance fight to secure the gate. The battle then reaches a climax as the Resistance override the security doors to extract the prisoners and get them to transports in a waiting hangar. And on Jakku, First Order forces have trapped a group of Resistance fighters within the derelict hull of a crashed Star Destroyer in the desert of Jakku. The Resistance have located some data of key interest and are desperately attempting to evacuate it. The First Order attackers must first cut off the Resistance access to nearby landing pads to keep them from escaping, then storm the ship, locking down the supply hold, taking control of the exits, and finally heading topside to prevent a rescue by transports landing from above. And lastly, we have Takodana. On Takodana, the First Order moves against Mas Kanata's castle. Resistance forces have taken up defensive position inside. The First Order advances methodically, capturing the nearby Memorial Hill as a staging area, moving on to attack the outer defenses and finally the castle itself, including a shootout in Mas' iconic cantina. So, as you can hear, that is quite a lot of narrative-driven Galactic Assault maps that we will get to play in Battlefront 2. I'm so glad that the actual objectives are completely different between all 11 locations. Compared to the last game where we had like Walker Assault was the same on every map, Turning Point was the same on every map, whereas this time, although it's still called Galactic Assault, all that really means is that we have vehicles, heroes, 20 versus 20, and then just do the objectives based on the planet. So I'm really excited to have such a variety, and please let me know which one you guys are most excited for. I think personally, I'm probably most excited for Kashyyyk and Yavin 4, but it's really hard to pick favorites there. Well, that brings this video to an end. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.